Hi everyone, this is NUSensei. Today we'll be taking a look at the Gillo G1. Gillo is an Italian brand. It was created by Michele Frangilli, who is a very well-known Italian and 11-time world champion. And this has been a fairly frequently requested review, so we have the chance to take a look at the Gillo G1 today. If you're looking at this particular riser, you might not recognize the distinctive color scheme of the Gillo series. Normally, they're well known for being quite colorful with bright grips. This one is configured with bare bow with the extra heavy weight on the bottom. The G1 is a fairly heavy aluminium riser. It's also quite high on the price range. You might find this for around $500 US. So it's quite up there with a lot of the top performing risers. The shape of the riser is fairly simplistic. You don't see a lot of advanced geometry or cutouts. It's a fairly simple bow, but it's very sturdy. And that's something which really makes this bow stand out. It's just how hefty it feels. The weight of the riser is 1,350 grams or 2.97 pounds. So by itself, the riser is already quite impressive. Now, what makes this desirable for bare bow, apart from the fact that it's inherently already quite heavy, is that it has an inbuilt weight system. As some of you may know, the bare bow classification has certain rules as to where you can place the weights and how large they can be. So as you can see here, we have not the default weight, but an extra heavier weight bolted on. If you're not using the G1 as a bare bow, it does of course come with all the standard bushings for recurve accessories. So you have the burger holes for the plunger buttons. You have the standard bushings for sights, and you have the stabilizer bushings as well. The bow is of course an ILF bow. The limb bolts are a very nice stainless steel, and the limb pocket is a nice gold color. The horizontal adjustment is done with the limb pocket. It has a nice V-shaped reference point in the middle, and the horizontal adjustment is done through the grub screws on either side. Just to be mindful that these are quite small. The riser does come with Allen keys, but small grub screws can be easy to strip and easy to lose. So just to be careful when adjusting this. This is not the original grip. The default grip is a bright plastic, which you might recognize in images. This is a wooden replacement grip. It's very nice. Wooden grips are quite warm to the touch, and it does feel very smooth. It fits very nice in the hand. Well shaped. If there's anything to say about the feel of the riser alone, this is a very sturdy and stable riser. Of course, this is configured with the extra weight, but even the default weight, which I've held before, is very sturdy. The cool thing about bare bow is that it doesn't take half an hour to set up. So here we are, we have the Gillo G1 set up with 28-pound axiom limbs. Like I said before, the riser is very stable. I'm not a big fan of heavy risers, but given that this is going to be a bare bow riser, this is particularly stable. I do like the way it feels in the hand, especially if you're not shooting freestyle recurve. And of course, this is the part where I throw arrows at the target. I'm shooting at 7 meters or 8 meters, so I'm not going to worry too much about aiming. I won't be string walking or anything. I'll just be shooting normally, instinctive, I guess. But we'll see how the bow handles. I'll be ignoring the wrist sling for now. I'm using my finger sling, personal preference. But like I said, this is a very stable bow. I mean, without any stabilizers at the front, it really holds itself very steady in the hand. Let's see how it goes. Very nice. You see the addition of the bottom weight really helps keep the bow steady. It doesn't throw itself back at you. It stays very stable. Very nice. Just the mass of the riser absorbs so much of the vibration. It's actually a really comfortable bow to use. And like I said, I'm actually not a big fan of heavy risers. I've had complaints about heavy risers, especially cheap ones. But this is a really nice riser. Very comfortable to shoot. It's sturdy, it's solid, it's steady, it's very reliable. It's a bow which you can hold in your hand and it would just sit there. Now, of course, this is configured for bare bow with the extra weight, so bonus points for this. Really happy with the way it just sits there. And you saw in the test shooting, the bow didn't move around, it just sat in the hand. Very desirable for a bare bow shooter. I can see why people lean towards this as a bare bow option. Would I use this for recurve? It's on the heavy side. People do, no reason why you can't, but just do bear in mind it is hefty, more so than most aluminium bows. But if you like the sort of thing, it's worth looking at. But as configured for bare bow, definitely top points for bare bow shooting. I don't really have much else to say about the G1. Most risers have fancy features and glossy surfaces and other things to talk about, but the G1 is fairly minimalistic. It's just a really well-made riser. If you're willing to put the money into a functioning riser, which is very stable, then the G1 is worth taking a look at.